Fusebox.
Fusebox number 27, FOIK, and you are just plain out of guesses.
I almost did a spit take there. Thank you. And by the way, you're absolutely right.
You like that one too? Yeah.
Well, a gracious greeting to you all, dear friends, and welcome once again to Fusebox. This is number 27 in our illustrious program, and I'm your polymorphous host, Marc Rose, with the mildly bemused assistance of Milt Keynes over there at the pseudopod-like controls. And thanks ever so much for pushing play on this edition of our show today. FOIK, be its name, and know it by no other. Yeah, this is a great acronym for some stuff that we're going to delve into in a little bit. But first, as they say, I'd like to share a little surprise I had the other day, which is sort of kind of fitting since I'm recording this on Halloween, and so it feels a little like that in the air anyway, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, gentle listeners, let me tell you, if I may, how the production process of this show goes. Now, I know that's, eye-glazingly geeky, but some people care, and it actually does serve my point here. So,
you need some coffee or anything?
No, I'm fine.
Prune Danish?
No, thank you. Do like those, but no thank you. I'm keen to relay a little after-show post bonus I had the pleasure to experience. So, the way it works is that I do the post-production on the program, obviously, when it's completed. And then I hand it off to the always trustworthy and technically capable hands of our buddy over there, Milt Keynes, who then does the typical pre-upload wrangling of show art, and show art, by the way, always beautifully rendered by our teammate Jeff Pollard over there, huh? Thank you very much. He wasn't in on this with you, was he?
I take the fifth.
Mr. Keynes, were you then, or are you now, a member of the Communist Party? Settle down, please. Settle down. I will have order.
So, I hand it off, and Milt does his thing, and everything is grand, or so I think. Now, folks, you gotta realize, when post-producing this show, I go over it pretty thoroughly, so I know usually what's in the show, or in this case, what's not in the show. So I'm laying there in bed that night. This is the last program. And, you're just going over day's activities, which we all do, and they haunt us, don't they? Huh? Sort of. Yeah. So I'm laying there, and it just dawns on me, oh, criminy, did I mention Sunshine Griffith's new book? Because she just had one coming out, and she was a guest on that particular show, if you recall. And she's got quite a following, she's in the millions of people, and this is no joke. Check her out. But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh God, did I forget to do this? So it's like about 3:30 in the morning, And so I'm thinking, all right, it hasn't gone up. It's sitting on the server. It's scheduled to go up the next day. So why don't I just download it right now and check? That way I can get the remaining 15 minutes of sleep I'm going to get. And that way I'll feel better about it. And so I download it and push play. And the first thing I realize is I don't hear this. Right. But what I do hear is this.
Hi. It's Milt here, the board op from Fusebox, and had to get away from things to kind of set this up, but kind of wanted to set the record straight for some things that happened on the last show. Well, we aired a spot that wasn't supposed to be.
Now, this part right here is referring to a spot we had aired the week before on a show called Stupor Moon, which had our dear friend Milt over there being berated by a 6-year-old, albeit talented 6-year-old girl, which of course did occur. Now, granted, it wasn't supposed to be shared that way, but hey, I was a little light on content, okay, for that show. So
Wait,
I thought that...
What? You mean you aired that because you didn't have enough filler?
Well, kinda. But that's not the coup de grace, my sneaky friend. Oh, no. Days before this whole thing went down, right? Is it coming back to you now? I was rushing around to get things done and prepped for that interview portion we had with Sunshine Griffith, and on my way to feed the Japanese pocket squirrels, I find smoke pouring out from under their door. So, I'm frantically trying to break the door down, and, all of a sudden... I have to break it down. Hey. What the hell? What's going on in here? Looks like something out of a Frankenstein set. All right. What's with the bucket? Come on, guys. What's with the... Oh!
Trick or treat! Yay!
Oh, thanks. Merry Christmas. Oh, God.
Still gets me every time.
Oh, grand. I'm delighted you're so easily amused by that. That's but that went up before I had any knowledge of what was actually going to be aired. And at that precise moment in time when I was trying to wrangle whether I was going to fix all this and get it off there or whatever, internet went down. That's right. Whole thing went down. Couldn't get in or out of anything. So I'm staring at a blank screen, and there you go. So there it went.
Hey, tit for tat, buckaroo.
Well, that's easy for you to say. And Mr. Sardonicus over there, while you're smiling like that, let me just tell you, this, of course, means war. Just saying.
Yeah, whatever.
When we return, a revisit with John the Heathen by request, and a host of other squiddly things. Be right back. So, over the past few weeks, we've actually had requests for a few things, and no one is more tickled and delighted than I when that happens. Because that is actually nice to know that there's somebody at least taking notes. You know what I mean? So that's good. So we had a request here for a twisted epiphany that we did a while back. Must have been about 20 shows ago now, I guess. And And even though we're kind of past the Halloween celebrations and all...
Not by much.
True enough. So I think it still fits with the creepy overcast of the season here. It's one written by Jeff Pollard and read by him as well, entitled John the Heathen.
Extending oily greeting. Meet John the Heathen. Expression of no feeling, but dank, twisted meaning. Greasy fingertips teasing. Cold blood, rage seething. Blade thrust for no reason. Proving life, thus fleeting. Inflicted mental treason. Black memories receding. Murky surf revealing. Mutilated bones bleaching. He sends the brain reeling. This John the Heathen.
A twisted epiphany there from Jeff Pollard entitled John the Heathen.
You know, I sometimes wonder about that guy. Kinda scary, you know?
What? You're creeped out by Jeff? Mr. Paranormal Man back there, please.
Yeah, I know, but how does he come up with this stuff?
I don't know, but it's a fave of mine for sure. And, more fun and games coming from the mind of Mr. Pollard very soon, we promise you that. And speaking of fun and games, I was listening to a recent Overnightscape hosted by the inimitable Frank Edward Nora on this here channel, the Overnightscape Underground. And this was a few shows back now, as I'm a wee slow to catch up on the insanely prolific output on this channel. It is a little insane. I find if I lose 1 or 2 days, it's like, oh, there's 97 programs to catch up with now. Yeah, it's a little daunting at times. But anyway, this goes back to, what was it?
Yeah, that was episode 1224 of the Overnightscape, Tetra Darkening, for all you playing along at home.
Thank you. But anyway, so Frank somehow got on the topic of habit trails, which are those contraptions that are created for your furry little pets to climb around in and on and under and drive themselves into a kind of petulant frenzy at some point. And
Hey, I saw what you did there.
oh, yeah, petulant. Yeah, how clever of me.
Definitely shows why you're making the bank.
Oh, clearly. Clearly. So where was I? I was sidetracked by my unconscious inner Henny Youngman.
Or was that Toady Fields?
Oh, bonus! Bonus round. Yeah. Woo, now you're reaching. Yeah. Anyway, so Frank was talking about these here habit trail things and asked the question there in the show if I had one of those things for the little Japanese pocket squirrels. Well, I actually don't, as it turns out. Those rascals have a sort of quasi-free reign in the place and probably would end up converting it into some kind of strip club or some variance thereof.
And that's a bad thing?
Well, I guess that's purely subjective, isn't it? Whoa. Stop the presses. How could I forget? Yeah, I had yet another surprise this morning.
Hey, well, I don't know anything about whatever is next in your surprise bag.
Oh, no. I'm sure you don't know anything about this. But it'll probably thrill you to no end. Here, wait a minute. Here we go. You know, it was in an open box of malto meal that guess what I found and put in this jar.
Oh, man. Really? Well, I've been looking all over for that one.
Yeah, well, I still think there are 2 more of your fallopian racing hamsters loose around here. But maybe they'll show up. You know, because if this one did, he was just gorging himself silly in that bowl. Or her, I'm not sure. Do you know?
I don't know. Won't sit still long enough to find out.
So anyway, I will leave this one with you to do as you do, whatever that is.
Hey.
File 13.
Ingeniously applying the samurai code in a modern context, Toshio realized that seppuku, the honorable suicide of ancient Japan, could be automated.
So, a marvelous term, coined by the folks who should know such things, the technical and software programmer types, have a term to describe possible flaws in a circuit or program code or what have you, called FOIK. I so love this term. It stands for familiar only if known, a term we can easily apply in virtually everything we do or try to communicate with others. Brilliant. I was introduced to this term a short time back by John Barber, who teaches a course at Washington State University on interface design. And this was one of the things that they deal with all the time. It's a series of variables that are only familiar to those who understand them. If you don't understand them, then they're not familiar. Seems logical, right? Well, I got inspired by this idea because there's a sushi place I like to frequent, and one night I'm sitting in there, and I hear a couple of folks behind me just having the time of their lives. You know what I mean? And it wasn't because the fish was dancing. It was just hilarious. And they were discussing some characters or some game, story, or anime thing. I don't know what. But what struck me was that I was in this complete vacuum of understanding. I had absolutely no context for anything that they were talking about. And I mean, you know, I could kind of imagine what they were referencing, but really no way of knowing what the in-jokes were all about that they were enjoying so heartily. And I mean, really, big time.
You ever been to a con?
Buddy. Well, you know, well, you probably don't, but back in the day, you know, we made the circuit doing those things with the other radio series we were producing back in the 80s. And yeah, I have many semi-delirious memories of that ill-fated time, you know, being asked continuity questions concerning episodes of the series I long forgot and, you know, having to punt my way through them. Oh, yeah. Which actually is another good segue because this is what I'm talking about. We tend to live in a very self-referential time right now, particularly with all the social media buzzment going on. People are very fixated on their own worlds, right? You know, And hence, sometimes we get these like cryptic posts that someone will do on Facebook, may only be 5 or 6 words, which may be really either a cry for help or a play for sympathy or a ransom note. I don't know. But whatever, the point is that many times we may jabber on about something that positively no one around us has either a clue about or, more importantly, an interest in, and it becomes yet again a FOIK of personal origin. The fault in this code, ladies and gentlemen, is us. Or take video games, for instance. Now, I've had the pleasure of recording many voices here for assorted games from publishers all over the place. But even though it's not a big interest of mine, oftentimes these are a hoot to do. They're fun, and people have a good time. I tell you what, get into a group of game designers or players, and it's like some undiscovered country I just got dropped into. It's really alienating. It's very interesting, actually. I have a couple of associates who are voices in this Dota project, this game that's I think Valve produces, Defenders of the something or other, and they got sent out to these huge conventions where, and I mean huge, soccer stadium filled types of places. It's just, you can't imagine the amount of people. And I'm just thinking, wow, it'd be kind of an interesting experiment in deprivation to just, go there and sit and listen for a minute, because it would be like they were talking a foreign language. You wouldn't have any idea what was going on there. And it's not just video games, too. It's, I see this all the time now in programming as well, where, you have to kind of be there to get the joke. And frankly, in any of my radio experience, that usually meant someone was a little too much in their head and not working with the audience in mind. Which is why, on occasion, many of us here on the channel, and I hear this done all the time, and I, for one, really appreciate it, when someone recapitulates, when someone, if they are referencing an earlier thing that happened, we'll give you a little background on that and not presume that everybody is following along because they know you intimately. That's really handy for anyone who is playing along at home, if you know what I mean. So another source of inspiration for me here is that, there are a lot of broadcasters out there that don't even do that. So it's nice to hear it here. I appreciate it. Really. And I have to say, I stand here guilty as any who has done like an episodic series of any kind. I mean, at some point, particularly back in the day when one didn't have access to earlier shows or at least not easily, you just have to presume your audience will follow along. But as characters get added and the backstory becomes more complex, then the first-time visitor to a show like this is in for a challenging ride, A high-concept ride, as they say.
Yeah, I'd say someone must have been pretty high to write some of the stuff I've seen lately.
Indeed, yeah. And luckily, these days, we have some fairly decent streaming services that allow for easy catch-up on all the plot twists and shenanigans that go on, so, I don't know. More ear food for consideration.
Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go.
Fusebox.
The show for everybody, but not everybody will like it.
And judging by the melting clock on the wall, that's going to do it for this edition of Fusebox. Next time, we'll have some moments to share with you from what's becoming an epic search for the intern for our humble program here. And believe me, you will not want to miss that. Special thanks to Carol Adams and Jeff Pollard for their audio audacity on this one. Want to take a moment to say that this is the season to be gifty. So when looking for that unique and indispensable item for a friend or foe, please consider the Fusebox store. We have a growing assortment of clever things springing up there, and it certainly assists in holding down the ever-growing debt this show incurs each month. Seriously, give it a quick peek by going to the Fusebox Facebook page and just clicking on the little store button there, the Buy Now button, or by going to the Paint Almost Dry website, thefuseboxshow.com, and click on the store link to be handily whisked away to aforementioned shopping lists. Thanks to Mr. Keynes over there for technical assistance and Prune Danish.
I'm here to serve.
Yes, you are. To serve Danish. And thanks to you, wise and obviously discriminating listeners of Audio Fair, for pushing play on this edition of Fusebox. And this is your randomly assiduous host, Marc Rose, saying, until our next cartoon. Fuse.